Good morning. Here's the scoop. You see all of the boxes behind me. eBay sales have been good and Eric has been shipping his head off. I need to stop off at the post office. Oh, and by the way, Eric has already been to UPS and FedEx with some of our other packages. Then I'm gonna try to sneak over to Ansonia, which is not super close to me, but I just heard about an estate sale that looks too promising to miss. Then I need to jump back over to Plainville, Connecticut to meet somebody who purchased a bowl, and I'm meeting a friend for happy hour. So it's gonna be a busy driving day. Let's get to it. I just dropped all of the packages off at the post office. Now I'm headed to the estate sale, and here's the thing, I cannot dilly-dally. I'm gonna have to really be thoughtful, take a quick look around, and then be on my way. Let's see how I do. Okay, I'm in the estate sale. This is in Ansonia, Connecticut. This is like the main sitting room area, as you can tell from all of the different chairs and other pieces of furniture. There's lots of little collectibles in this room, but nothing that I tend to pick up. And I'm also noticing that the prices here are definitely on the high side. This chair is for sale. Here is a closet full of vintage clothes. And you can see the drawers are just about bursting with clothing. And there's more clothes in this room. And also, again, a lot of different kinds of collectibles, but nothing that I tend to put in my own collections or tend to sell on my eBay store. Now I'm in the kitchen. There are some interesting things here, but again, the prices are really too high to resell anything, like these glasses, which are $45. And this is another little cute set. There was no price on those. Lots of teapots. And now I'm like in a pantry area. It's like almost a pantry slash porch kind of room. There's lots of kitchenware. These are boxes of old Curiosity Shop dishes, but these are really super plentiful on eBay, so the sell-through rate for these is not fantastic. I'm glad to see a pie plate here. That is me done for the day. And here's like a little hutch full of kitchen pieces. Nothing is calling to me. I don't know if you're seeing anything that is intriguing to you, but I'm still looking carefully because you never do know, and I don't want to overlook anything. Interesting little beer mug. Now I'm in the attic, and it is chock full of things in boxes, and all of these books are cooking books. So I'm going to take a good look at these because sometimes you can find a few gems among cookbooks. And there's some textiles, nothing that I'm loving, and some holiday decor. Here's even more holiday decor, but you know, I'm not seeing the kinds of things I tend to pick up, things like Lenox or Mikasa or anything kind of really old and vintage. There are some interesting things in here, but nothing, like I said, nothing that I feel like I need to bring home with me today. And now we're in the basement. There's some interesting little car-themed collectibles. Don't know much about those. And some old drying racks. I have a few of those at home. Well, that estate sale was not a wild success for me in terms of finding things either for myself or to resell. I bought two things, nothing earth-shattering. Actually, one of the things I bought will more than pay for my time and my gas and make this trip, I guess, worthwhile. But you can't win them all, I guess. And the truth of the matter is, it is a gorgeous day. Look at this sky. So how can you enjoy it as I make my way over to Plainville to meet the person who's picking up a bowl from me. I am going to stop off at the Goodwill while I'm there, and I think I might even go to TJ Maxx because Eric could use some new t-shirts and they might have what he's looking for. So that's next up. This platter with the lobster is interesting. It weighs a ton, so I'm not even gonna try to flip it over and see who made it, but it has an interesting look. And these plates were here the last time I was at Goodwill. These are Monticello dinnerware. I still like them, but I'm still not gonna pick them up. This is a pretty little plate back here for $1.99. This is like an old collectible plate made in West Germany. Little Asian themed bowl, Amari porcelain. I don't know much about Asian vintage or antique items. This is a little melamine plate. And this is really interesting. This is a Bunnykins plate that I would definitely pick up if it wasn't so scratched up. Too damaged for me. This is an interesting little set. $19.99 is a lot. This is false craft. And this dish is interesting. Woodside by Ridgway, made in England. That has some potential. And this is a very pretty plate for $1.99. I like the rim. And this was made in Limoges, France. Martin pattern, it looks like. A pretty little brown and white dish, $1.99, made by Baker & Co. This little covered pot is very heavy. For half a second, I thought it looked like Port Marion, but it's definitely not Port Marion related. Similar kind of botanical theme. It's got a good sized bit of damage there on the lid, and it's very heavy. Lincoln ware, made in Taiwan. Okay, I'm gonna put this guy back. Here's a very pretty plate. I like the shape of this plate in particular. And this was made in the USA. Paden City pottery, perhaps? There's quite a few pieces here from that same maker. And they want $39.99 for the whole set. I checked them on eBay, they didn't comp that well. These are cute. I don't know if these are molds for butter pats or something similar. These are made by Pampered Chef. If they were 99 cents each, I would definitely get them. This is a cute little studio art piece. I certainly can't paint that well. I like this gravy boat a lot, but gravy boats have a tendency to sit around in my bins for a long time, so I'm gonna leave this one behind. This is some kind of a turkey centerpiece, I guess, but it's in pretty fragile condition. This is intriguing because this platter is Limoges. I know this pattern. I have pieces in this pattern. They want $3.99 for this. And there is the Limoges back stamp. Yep, this one's coming home. This is a pretty little platter. I know this piece. This is a little false craft tray. $4.99 is more than I'm going to pay for it, but it is a pretty piece. This is a very clumsy studio pottery piece. That person needs more lessons. And I like this little shamrock basket for $2.99, but it's not well made. These are also kind of cute, continuing with our basket theme, made in China. And this is a really interesting piece. I have pieces like this on my eBay store. It's Temperware by Lennox. I have a different pattern in my store. I think $3.99 is quite a bit for a covered sugar. And this little creamer's pretty, but it doesn't have its friend, the sugar. Little Christmas baskets, kind of cute. Made by Nikko, Japan. So I wanted to take a minute to catch you up on what I've been up to. As you will see from the footage, I did a little bit of shopping at Goodwill, found some interesting things. I met up with a viewer of this channel who purchased a bowl from me, and she lived in Connecticut, so she wanted to know if she could skip the shipping and just meet up with me instead, which I was happy to do. She was lovely, and I hope to see her again sometime soon. Then I headed over to Marshall's and Old Navy. I had this compelling need to pick up some new tops and some other little bits and pieces for myself and for Eric. And it's so funny, I know now why I was feeling that way. It's because I'm used to doing back to school shopping from years as an educator. And of course, I'm not in education anymore, so I don't do back to school shopping the way other people do. But I think that instinct was still there. So anyway, I was in the store when it occurred to me what I was doing, and I was like, oh yeah, that's why I'm feeling so strongly about this. Anyway, I found some good deals at Marshall's. I got some good shirts for Eric on sale. He was in need. He has a tendency to get paint on every single article of clothing that he wears. So it was time for a little refresh for him. And now I'm gonna make my way home. I'm gonna feed the dogs and the cats, hang out for a little bit, and then go meet my friend at Tate's in Middletown. So that's the plan, and stay tuned for what's up next. Okay, in an unexpected turn of fate, I decided to try one more Goodwill. I'm at the Goodwill in New Britain. I haven't been here in a long time. The last time I was here, I didn't have a ton of luck, but to be fair, it was like a Saturday afternoon, so kind of a funny time to go. We'll see if I have any luck today. This piece is made by Royal Tuscan in England. Very pretty. Here's another little teapot, not as well made, and no manufacturer stamp. I love this one with the bird, but they want $9.99 for it, and that is too much to be able to resell it at a good profit. But it's very pretty. I like the bird on it very much. And these ducks are interesting, $4.99 each, ouch. These dishes are pretty with the blue floral rim, very dirty, $3.99 for just one. These prices are a little high today, but I'll keep looking, you never know. This is, oh my goodness, made in Japan. Pretty pattern on that. I like how the gold is raised up. These are really lovely, like Christmas casseroles. I really like the poinsettia on these. Made by Temptations. I would be so tempted by these, but the prices are high. $20 for this one. And then I had one in my cart that I was just looking at, $9.99. That's too much too. This is a pretty little brown and white plate, but a lot of utensil marks on this. Too many for me, I think. This one was made in England. I do like it though. And here we have a little teacup and saucer. made in China. And this vase has kind of an interesting 1980s look. No marking on that. And these little plates have kind of pretty details. $2.99, Harmony House, that says. And this little place setting is interesting. It's Vibe by Lennox, but it just didn't comp out well on eBay at all. I like these little brown and white transfer berry bowls, but for $2.99, I'm going to leave them here. And these plates are interesting, $3.99 each. Yikes. These are Noritake stoneware color wave pattern. I just had this platter on my estate sale, and actually my estate sale is ending in just a few hours, so hopefully it will have been a success. I will know very soon. This is an interesting, it looks like a hand-painted piece. Oh, that's a little studio pottery. I like this blue and white bowl very much, $4.99. It's got a lot of this weird sort of pitting on it though. That's stained and won't come out. I'm wondering who made this piece. Wood & Sons, England, semi-porcelain. Semi-porcelain I find often doesn't hold up well over time. At least that's just been my experience. Here's another pretty piece, $3.99 for that bowl. Oh my goodness, Edwin Knowles, lots of crazing on this piece. So that's definitely a no for me. These teacups and saucers are very pretty. I like the pattern on these. Made by Nico. Very nice, but they're not really terribly resellable, so I'm going to leave them here. I like this plate. I love the shape of it. $2.99 on this plate. Shell Pink by Royal China. Orchid pattern. It's really nice, but there's so much crazing and a lot of paint loss all around the rim. So I'm not going to pick it up. But this little teapot is adorable, and white is a discount color, so this is an option. This is a very pretty little relish dish. I think these are stains as opposed to dirt marks. This is made by Noritake, Amiston pattern. This is a Mikasa box. I'm wondering what's inside it. Okay, it's a big glass plate with a nativity scene, and they want $7.99. Here's a pretty plate for $1.99. Garden bouquet, Windsor ware. I like that, but there's just the one. And this is a pretty plate as well. And I checked this out on eBay. These are not particularly valuable, but I do like the scene on this. It's like chateaus in the background. That was made in Japan. Lots of crazing on that. This little child's rocker or sample size rocker is amazing. I love it. It's so tiny. It's like a little Lincoln rocker. $19.99. If I could think of a place for this to go, I would snap that up and reupholster it. And this is cool too. This is an old vintage child's rider, I guess. It's a little pony. It's adorable and it's on springs. It looks like it's in really good condition. Yeah, it's a great little piece. All right, I think we're done here and we're gonna wrap up this day. Let's head home. I just got home. I changed my top because I'm headed back out in just a second, but I thought I would take this 30-minute lag in between things that I'm doing today to show you my haul. I've had better hauls, but I still like what I picked up. Starting with two things I got from the estate sale. Now, this estate sale was definitely not my cup of tea. In addition to the prices being higher than I think made any kind of sense. And you could tell that because most people were leaving with nothing. That's always a sign in my book. So high prices. Also, the stuff wasn't super high quality, in my opinion, wasn't a lot of the kind of stuff that I tend to gravitate towards. However, I will say there were some people that were into vintage clothes who were clearly finding things they were really excited about. So maybe it just like wasn't really like a home decor kind of estate sale. It was more of a vintage clothes estate sale because the people that were with me when I was in the attic were having a ball. That's always fun to see. But anyway, I did not pick up lots of treasures from there. However, I was excited to find this book, Mastering the Art of French Cooking. This is a Julia Child's book. It's in nice condition. There is a little bit of writing in the front, so not perfect condition. However, it is a first edition, which is really nice. So I wish that there wasn't the writing there. Here it is, which tells us this is the first printing, as you can see. So I wish the writing wasn't there in the cover. I wish there was a dust jacket. That would have been awesome. And just to round out my wishing behaviors, I do wish that they also had volume 2. A lot of times when you see volume 1, you also see volume 2. I have a feeling volume 2 was there somewhere, but I couldn't find it, and boy did I look. So I was charged $4 total for this book and this book called The American Woman's Cookbook. And this is kind of an old guy. Let me show you the front cover. Really kind of fun photograph, like looks like little petit fours. And there's also some writing in this one, which is never ideal, but this one is from the 1940s, early 40s, which is interesting, and this was really what sold me. I loved these little tabs. When I was a kid, there were so many kinds of books that had tabs like these. Dictionaries always had tabs like these. Encyclopedias often did. Lots of reference books did, and they just bring me right back. I was not a child in 1942, in case you're wondering and furiously doing the math. However, in my childhood, there were still lots of these books with tabs, and I loved that. So I decided to pick this up. So $4 for this one and this one, and I was happy with that. They will probably both be on my eBay store. Definitely this one will be, probably this one will be, unless for some reason it just doesn't comp out it well, in which case I might just keep it. We'll see. My next stop was Goodwill, and there wasn't much at Goodwill, and I tried to be a little bit particular because I have plenty of inventory right now. But I did find this big stack of bowls. I guess these are soup bowls, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them. Let me give you a better look. Oh, it's heavy. So here is, I know the sticker is right dead center, but this is a big ship in the middle of this bowl. And this is called Fair Winds. It's an original copper engraving depicting historical scenes of Chinese exports to America. So here is the back stamp. Now, this was really interesting because this top plate said $5 on it, and none of the other plates had any price tags at all. So I figured, you know, I'm gonna take them up to the front counter and see if they'll just give me the whole pile for $5. Like, maybe I could make an argument that $5 is the total price, which I'm not sure if that was the case. I mean, it could have been the case. But anyway, the cashier didn't blink an eye. I got the whole set for $5. So I think that will end up being a pretty good profit. I don't think I would have bothered just picking up one, and I definitely wouldn't have picked up one for $5. But the whole stack, I thought, was a good deal. Then, this was so interesting to me. I saw a teapot that looked a lot like Liberty Blue. You know, that pattern, that blue and white pattern I've shown several times on this channel because I've sold it before. but I was looking at it and the scene it was depicting was way too blurry. And then I looked in the bottom and there was like too much crazing, and the crazing was really clumsy. Like it looked intentional to me. And I thought, I think this is an imposter. So I looked it up on eBay to see what the real Liberty Blue would look like, the real teapot. And yeah, the picture on it was much crisper. There was no sign of crazing. It was definitely different. So I did find an imposter. And I have to say, I was really tempted. Please excuse Wilson. We now have the second tap dancer in this house. Well, Wilson just broke my light. So my light is shot. I'm gonna have to film the rest of this in a darker situation. I apologize. I think I have another bulb somewhere in the attic, but I'm gonna have to really do some digging and hunting for it. Okay, anyway, I was tempted to buy the teapot just so that I could show you that it was an imposter. I thought it could be an interesting kind of study and what to look for. But then I thought, you know what, I can just show you the pictures. So check this out. Here's the teapot as I found it, and $3.99 would have been a great price for it. But you see how blurry the image is, and look at the crazing. The crazing looks crazy. It's so dark. It looks like train tracks almost. And like I said, the image is blurry and distorted, and it just looks wrong. So here's the picture of the actual teapot on eBay, and you can see the image is really crisp and clear, nothing like that first one. And here's another comparison just so you can see the difference. Isn't that so funny? So yeah, this was definitely an imposter, and badly done at that. Next up, I found this very pretty plate. You can see it has a beautiful rim on it. And this is a plate that was made in Limoges, France. So just a singleton, and singletons are not my favorite. However, I love picking up Limoges. Let me tell you, pieces from Limoges, France don't like fly off my eBay shelves, so to speak. They do sell, but they take some time. However, I just love having it in my possession. I don't know, it's just really fun. And I love to see the different patterns, and I love to see the different maker marks and the different ways that they put these things together. I don't know, I picked it up. It was $1.99. So that was my find. And then I picked up, there were a whole stack of these plates. I only ended up picking up 4 of them because I just couldn't find them on eBay. I found other pieces in this pattern, but not plates. So I really don't know how these are gonna sell. And they were $1.99 a plate, which, you know, I think you gotta be careful about picking up too many plates at $2 each. This is Woodside by Ridgway, and it was made by Staffordshire in England. And this looks to me like perhaps a reproduction of an older pattern. And I say that because of how perfectly smooth it is. And if you see the font, it looks old, but this does seem to be a newer plate. But I thought they were really pretty. And as I said, there were a whole stack. I got 4. I thought 4 was a nice amount to put on my store. And we'll see how it does. The next thing I picked up was a bit of a risk, but I decided to take the risk. And I am not having any remorse about that. So I do from time to time see little pieces of lusterware, and I tend not to get it because it doesn't have a great selling history. But I really liked this matching creamer and sugar. I love the handles on this. I love the lid. The colors are good. They're in nice condition. This was $3 and this was $3, so not a screaming deal. And let me find the back stamp for you. It's kind of blurry. I'll see if I can actually find the maker, and if I can, I will put it in the description box below. But I thought these were sweet. and I decided to pick them up, give them a chance, and put them on my store. So we'll see how they do, and I will keep you posted. The last thing I picked up Goodwill was a sad friend. It was a sad friend that was so sad. It was like crying and beating its chest and throwing itself on the floor in despair. And yet, Chris from Worthington Home bought it like a crazy person. I did buy it. And when I show you this chip, you're gonna say, I knew you had glasses, but I didn't realize your eyeballs don't work at all because this chip was not subtle. You ready for this? Here's the platter. You see it already, don't you? There's the chip. What the heck is wrong with me? Well, I'll tell you what's wrong with me. This is a beautiful Limoges platter. I actually already have this platter. I bought it at a tag sale, and I got so excited when I got my eyeballs on this pattern and the size of this platter. I just grabbed it and I just didn't look carefully. And that is something I do sometimes when I get carried away in the moment. And it's a terrible habit. And I'm trying so hard to break it, but I fell for it. Here's the back stamp. So I am gonna keep this piece, even though it's a sad friend, and it was $3.99 because I'm hoping it will fit in the bottom of my cabinet, like on the bottom shelf. And then I'll just have it flat like this, and then I'll put other pieces on top of it. And that way I can still enjoy the pretty rim, and I can keep the chip by the back of the cabinet where it won't mock me with its going, why didn't you notice? Why didn't you notice? Look at that. Jeepers. Not good. So as I told you already, after I finished up at Goodwill in Plainville, I met somebody who was picking up a piece from me. She bought it on my eBay store. She's a viewer of this channel. You know who you are. Hello if you're watching. And it was lovely to meet her. She was very, very nice. And so that was awesome. That was probably my favorite part of the day. Actually, it was definitely my favorite part of the day. And then I went to Marshall's. Actually, I picked up a few new tops. I picked up some stuff for Eric at Old Navy. And then I was gonna go home, but I was so close to Goodwill in, where was it? New Britain, that I decided to pop in. And I definitely won't be going back there again. Their prices are really high. I thought they were really high the last time I was there. This time definitely confirmed it. There were a number of things I probably would have picked up if the prices had been better. But yeah, they were just too high. But I did pick up one thing, and I do like what I picked up, is this cute little mini size teapot. It's a pretty small guy. And, oops, get that cover back on properly. Oops. There we go. This was made by Sadler in England. And this was $4.99, but it had the half off color. So I got this for just under $2.50. And I thought that was a good buy. So this little teapot will be going on my eBay store. And I thought it was adorable. So that was my little thrifting excursion for the day. I had high hopes for the estate sale, but you know, you always take your chances with an estate sale. And I got a couple of interesting things, you know, nothing that's gonna result in my buying a mansion or a yacht, but I'm not really in the market for a mansion or a yacht, so it's all good. Here is a close-up of everything I picked up, including, oh, let me show you one without the tag on it. There we go. Now you can see what this bowl actually looks like. Here is the stack of bowls with the really cool clipper ship on it. And I like the rim very much. And here is a better look at the back stamp so you can really see it. A little bit of crazing on this, but that's okay. I think this was a good find, especially because I got such a nice big stack of bowls. So very pleased with those. Here is a closer look at the plates I picked up. The wood side by Ridgeway. I think these have a great look to them. Really nice pattern. Of course, blue is my favorite color. Here's the light bulb that used to have a wire coming out of it that connected it to my little tripod and the whole electrical system that is now shot. So I'm hoping that a new bulb will fix the problem and that I don't need an entirely new lighting system. Time will tell. Here is a better look at the Limoges plate. I really love the rim on this. I think it's very, very nice. And here is a better look at the back stamp than what I could really show you before. And then here is the lusterware set. I think the colors on this are really good. It would have been nice if I could have found a teapot as well, but I think this is nice. And actually, you know, you could use this with some other kind of different set or different teapot just to kind of mix it up. And when I wash this piece, it will really, really shine. So I'm looking forward to doing that. Here is my sad friend. Let's get a good look at that chip. Yeah, who doesn't find that chip right off the bat before they do any other thing? Me, that's who. But I'm gonna make this work anyway. And once I get it all staged and set up, I think it will be fine and it will make sense. Here is the little teapot. This is a tiny guy. This would maybe be 1 cup of tea for somebody. Not much more than that, maybe 2, I don't know. Here is the cookbook I was telling you about. I love the green color on this, and especially the tabs. Nothing special on the back. I love that. It looks delicious, actually. And then here is what was probably my best find of the day, which was Mastering the Art of French Cooking by Julia Child. So I'm gonna comp this guy out. If it doesn't come up for a good bit of money, I'll even consider keeping it. But I'm excited to find this. I had a set of Julia Child's cookbooks that I sold on my eBay store. I was sad to let them go, but they were so pristine. I just needed to let a collector have them. It just made more sense. So that's it. That is the haul and the light bulb and the wrapping paper it came in. My next step, you know the drill. I'm gonna wash everything, then I'll list it. We'll go on my eBay store, into my eBay bins, and from there, hopefully, it will get purchased and then shipped out. I think these are just really, let's one more look at the creamer and covered sugar. They really are sweet pieces. So yeah, that's my little haul. Just in case you're wondering about what my lighting looks like right now, this is pretty much it. Iris didn't cause the lighting to fall apart like this, but she was very happy to sit in the little umbrella section of the lighting that diffuses the light. Let me tell you, when you're a woman in your 50s, you could use all the help you could get with your lighting. Trust me. And here's a closer look. I didn't take video. This happened very quickly before I snatched her out of the umbrella. I didn't need her to make the situation worse. I'm still holding out hope that perhaps this can be fixed. We'll see. I just placed the chipped platter / sad friend right down on the bottom shelf of my Limoges cabinet. And I think it's nice because you can see the pretty rim, you can see the pretty pink flowers, but the chip is hidden by the other pieces that are resting on top of it. So let me get up so you can see how that is looking. I think that's nice. And actually it makes me feel a lot better about the pickup. I still wouldn't have bought it if I had seen the chip, which I absolutely positively should have done. But I think the way I have it arranged, it is actually a nice addition in here, and I think it works. And here's the big view of the cabinet. And trouble. Oh boy. Yeah, let me close this door. I just walked into the kitchen for a minute and found this sight on the kitchen floor. I just had to share. Look at how cozy she looks inside this weird bag. She is a strange cat. So that's what I have for you today. I am sorry about my lighting mishap. We had a little tap dancing followed by, a lighting wipeout. But that's all right. You get the gist. I think you could still see the things I was showing you. Thank you for your patience. You know I live in a crazy household. There's just not a lot I can do about it. I could put these guys away, but then they're just gonna bark and create mayhem in other ways. So I just roll with it as best I can. But anyway, I hope you liked this video. If you liked it, please take a moment and hit like, and please subscribe if you haven't already. I'm getting very close to 3,000 viewers. And if I hit 3,000, I know I can get Eric to take me out to dinner. So please subscribe. Anyway, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.